Welcome to Bertha Park, a new village located near Perth in Scotland. I'm Nick Bowen of Raeburn, Farquhar, Bowen, Landscape Architects. The clients and design team have sought to create a sustainable and vibrant place, founded on a green infrastructure master plan. Karen Caddell, urban designer and master planner for the project, with area urban design and architecture.
The master plan for Bertha Park is a response to place and identity. We took cues from the existing landscape, its topography, woodland, wetlands and watercourses, to embed the built form within a generous green infrastructure network with sufficient space for SuDS from the outset.
Establishing a strong sense of place is vital. At the heart of the village and forming the first phase of the development, a linear park lies beneath a pylon corridor. This park provides the setting and amenity for the village and contains the largest SuDS features in the master plan. A pair of ponds linked by a flow control weir attenuate and treat water at the centrepiece of this green space. The park also contains walking and cycling routes, play and allotments. The ponds and stream flowing through between these elements encourage folk to enjoy the delight of water and wetland habitats. The pond is just the first phase. Beyond this will be a network of swales, basins and further ponds, with plot-level source control through permeable surfaces. These wetland features interconnect with existing watercourses, including the River Almond and River Tay, SAC, and the Bertha Loch. The site benefits from being underlain by sands and gravels, meaning the widespread adoption of infiltration drainage. Luckily, a lens of pure clay beneath the central park meant that traditional puddle clay method could be used to line ponds, saving on liner costs and risks. A landscape and biodiversity management plan informs the management of SuDS within the green network. The central ponds have not been vested, thereby retaining full control over maintenance to suit amenity and biodiversity goals. The attractive and multifunctional SuDS provide a technical solution, high-quality placemaking, and a shop window for the client. David Jewell of Springfield Homes.
The early establishment of the Central Park with its new blue-green infrastructure has been instrumental in the success of Bertha Park, creating positive spaces for everyone to enjoy.
Hi, we're the team from Civic engineers working on the Climate Innovation District. We're the civil and structural engineers on this innovative project. We've been involved from the very start, working in partnership with Situ and with the design team including White Architecture and Layer Landscape. The Climate Innovation District is a 250 million car-free housing development in Leeds. Currently being constructed on a brownfield site, it is the largest sustainable development in the UK. It aims to create sustainable, low-carbon communities and deliver on the vision of accelerating the transition to zero-carbon cities. It incorporates more than 500 low-carbon family homes, the first to be built in the city centre in over 90 years. Phase 1 is near completion. Given its location on the banks of the River Aire and the floods that occurred in 2015, flood mitigation and surface water management were two key themes in developing the proposals, and these aligns with the aspirations of Situ. The client was keen to deliver a level of density that was compatible with the urban setting. This meant we had to work hard to reduce the amount of space allocated to SuDS infrastructure. After a number of workshops and optioneering exercises, it became apparent that the key was to make the infrastructure work as hard as possible by making it multifunctional. This led us to develop the now delivered SuDS strategy. The key points are: all of the outdoor spaces are designed to be enjoyed by residents for meeting, playing and growing, etc. Cars are kept to the periphery of the development, which allowed us to employ a whole site SuDS approach. Since SuDS were a key element of the scheme, we almost selected the features first and then designed the site layout afterwards. All of the external surfaces are permeable, including reinforced gravels and grasses in the areas that have been designed for occasional traffic and more traditional planting and rain gardens. There is a continuous drainage layer beneath all of the surfaces, such as the pavements and landscape itself, have been designed to collect, convey and attenuate the surface water that isn't taken up by the planting. As well as the source control elements, site level attenuation for extreme events is provided in landscape basins that majority of the time are used by residents for play or a general outdoor amenity space. Due to the ground conditions within the site, the water is ultimately discharged to the river Aire at a very low rate via low flow channels on the riverbank. These selected features form a SuDS management train and fulfil all 4 pillars of SuDS. This illustration was produced by New Civil Engineer magazine and illustrates how the houses and landscape form part of the joined-up SuDS strategy. The houses have green roofs and downpipes drain via rainwater butts into rain gardens that sit in front of each house. The first phase of the development is now occupied and the residents are enjoying the functional landscape. The SuDS have performed really well, and even in the most extreme events, discharge into the river have been recorded at very low rates. The scheme is maintained by the groundsman Claude, who looks after the planting and growing medium, as well as keeping an eye on the limited below-ground drainage infrastructure.
Jehovah's Witnesses completed a new branch headquarters complex in December, comprising office and production buildings and accommodation for 400 staff. It's an 80-acre site near Chelmsford, surrounded by greenbelt, but it was formerly a scrapyard, hence there were significant soil and water contamination issues to address. The design team comprised Jehovah's Witnesses' own volunteer staff of skilled design professionals, along with Murdoch Wickham as landscape architect. The development perimeter road defined a wide green margin for open SuDS around the edges, and from the outset this road was designed to shed runoff into swales, and then these swales would serve as the conveyance routes down to the attenuation ponds. This left us 2 challenges: the need to integrate some runoff treatment into the heart of the site, and the desire to blend the SuDS scheme into the landscape and de-engineer it.
I enjoyed working with the other consultants because we did it via a series of workshops, and that enabled us to develop the scheme together in a truly holistic and collaborative manner. I think the surface water strategy on the site is excellent, and I was very pleased to see the diligence and the hard work that the volunteers put into producing the scheme, and they have produced a result that would do credit to the best landscape contracting companies in the UK.
SuDS features were also included in the building designs. Biodiverse green roofs were incorporated into the residential buildings, and these flow into attractive rain gardens at the entrance to those buildings. Overland flow pathways were carefully thought out to eliminate potential flooding, particularly at the below-ground parking levels in the residence buildings. The warehouse building provided an excellent opportunity for rainwater harvesting. This went into buried storage tanks, from where it was processed and used for flushing toilets, irrigation of the formal landscaped areas, and to maintain minimum water levels in some of the ponds. Existing ponds and ditches were integrated into the SuDS system. The ditches were used as conveyance routes and were bypassed into attenuation ponds before they left the site. Early pre-application advice from the ordinary watercourse consent officer really helped to smooth over the process as the project developed.
It has been a great project to work on. The headquarters staff moved in just prior to the COVID lockdown, and they're really appreciating the SuDS landscape, the brilliant planting scheme, and the wildlife that's making itself at home too. There's been a wealth of positive comments from neighbours about the complete transformation of the site, and the SuDS scheme was a pivotal part of that.